Nearly 150 million Americans were affected by the Equifax data breach. But rather than punishing that company, interesting, the Senate now appears ready to actually reward Equifax for their incredibly reckless, dangerous behavior. I had to read this story twice because I thought I must have read something wrong, that this is one of the most hated businesses in America. Matter of fact, it's amazing. Out of 235,000 complaints that the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau gets, 30,000 plus.
1 out of 8.
One
company. One out of 8 complaints.
Everybody hates this company, but the Senate rewards them. Tell us this story.
Well, you would think, I mean, Crapo amended the legislation designed to negatively impact
everything. The guy touches. I mean, this guy is just a nightmare. But anyway,
I mean, Senate Banking Committee chair. You would think he would know. Here's what he did. He made an amendment at the last minute that was designed to negatively impact Equifax, and instead he rewards them. So he has now sent additional business to companies owned by Equifax, saying you have to go do business. He doesn't even check to see Equifax's hub and spoke. They have the hub, which is the credit collection, and then they have all these different businesses run off of there.
So these would be competitors in the old. These would be competitors, but you're saying Equifax now owns them,
and Crapo has sent business to the Equifax-owned companies without even checking to see if they owned them.
So Equifax is sitting in the back office making all the money, laughing about. Well, they did something else too, which is amazing.
They've now made money off of their own data breach, $150 million.
No, they're going to make a lot of money.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to make a lot of money off this deal
because they own all the competitors.
Well, and you have to know, knowing Crapo's background, the guy's a freak, man. But knowing his background, did he do it on purpose?
Well, he is from Idaho.
Yeah, the other thing that Crapo does is he says to Equifax, we're going to make you, it makes it sound like it's a punishment. We're going to make you give free credit monitoring service to the military. Okay, what does that really mean, Peter?
Nothing.
What ends up happening? They make money on that deal, don't they?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Crapo sent business, so it's called Vantage Source Solutions. Source Solutions. And he sent business there, but on the military, they have to go pull the data from Equifax. So while they're pulling the data from Equifax, Equifax charges a per transaction service. So no matter which way you go, Equifax is making money. There's got to be legislation that imposes statutory liabilities on these data breaches, because quite frankly, the courts aren't imposing a lot of liability for these data breaches.
Yeah, well, okay. What's interesting is they just now found several million more people that were affected by the Equifax breach. Equifax, if you remember, put this story in perspective. This is a company that kept it quiet. They knew that they had a breach. It was clear they had a breach, but they kept it quiet. And while they kept it quiet, the CEOs of the company were selling their stock. The managers were selling their stock and making a killing. And their defense was, this is really priceless. Their defense was, well, we had to sell and we couldn't say anything because that would have been insider information, and we had to stick.
Well, I got a news flash. Maybe don't sell your stock during the point of time and just pretend like you're doing the right thing.
And they said it was a scheduled sale.
Yes,
they said
what they always said.
It was already scheduled. No, we didn't do it because we blew it for millions of Americans. We did it because they had already scheduled it, and there was nothing we could really do about it.
You know what the scary part about this was, and I didn't know this. 18% of Americans, adults, have never checked their credit report, and about half the people since the 150 million personal information was divulged haven't pulled their credit report.
So wait. Now, 50% that have not even looked.
Not even since. So you can go to annualcreditreport.com and pull your credit report and review it, look and see if there's any new pulls, and you can actually freeze any credit requests. So to me, it was shocking how few people have checked. That's half the 150 million people. There's 330 million people in the U.S. Half the people, and this isn't just your name. This is parts of your driver's license, personal information.
Well, passports.
Absolutely.
Now they're finding their
and credit can get pulled off of that information. Half people haven't even checked. pull your credit reports, take a look at them, and buy one of the services that provides the the checking to make sure that no more credit's been pulled. But of course, those are halfway owned by Equifax, anyways.
Okay, this next story ties into it. You had CNBC do a pretty good story on this particular issue. They said, okay, 148 million Americans had their identity stolen, had basically everything about you, everything you needed to steal somebody's identity was taken from them. And we find out now it's another 2.4 million in addition to the 43 or 144 million. So now the question's coming up, how do we ever really get a handle on identity theft for those people? Isn't that the real problem
Absolutely.
here? And then in addition to that, what are these people probably doing that makes the chance of identity theft even worse?
The social media piece is where the CNBC focused on, which was if you go to your Facebook page and you list where you went to grade school and what your maiden name was, those are kind of often used for passwords, and all of the information you're relaying on social media will give the hackers or the people that bought your identity will give the hackers the ability to further extrapolate and dig into your credit card information, your retirement accounts, anything else. So the point of this article, or one of the points, was to be careful about how much information you disclose on social media, which can complement the data that was stolen from Equifax to create more of a...
Well, the experts on this, I mean, people have really started analyzing the identity theft issue, and the experts say that most of it comes from things like you give everything on Facebook. Mm-hmm. Here I'm at a party with my Aunt Matilda.
Right.
Instagram, here I am with
Aunt Matilda's fault.
Aunt Matilda.
Right.
So all of this information is it's a part of the missing link there, and that they take the Equifax material, put it together with this, and the chances, I mean, these experts are saying the chance of not being able to build a mechanism where broad identity theft takes place. And that's why when you tell me that more than half of U.S. citizens have never even checked to see what's happened since the Equifax breach, I find it impossible to believe.